of Folkestone and you might conjure up images of dilapidated docks and arcades sitting next to barren shopping areas. But this perennially underfunded and neglected seaside town is undergoing something of a change. A hugely ambitious regeneration project is underway. The Folkestone Triennial, an art festival that has attracted major contemporary names including Tracy Emin and Turner Prize winner Mark Wallinger, forms a significant part of a multi-tiered initiative which places creativity and the arts at its core. Sky Arts went to meet some of those touched by the changes, from the local gallery owners and artists to the established names and the curator Andrea Schleicher, who has set up the inaugural festival.
The fact that there are so many well-known artists participating in this project is a combination of factors that has led to this. I've worked with a number of these artists before on previous projects, but it's also very rare to have an invitation where you can prepare for a project for 2 years, 2.5 years, and where your canvas is not the 4 white walls of an exhibition gallery space, but your canvas is a whole town.
23 artists have been commissioned to create original works which all linked to the people, experience and history of Folkestone. Artist David Batchelor's Disco Mécanique, for example, is placed in the ballroom of former Grand Hotel, the Metropole. The 60 gently twirling sculptures created from brightly coloured plastic sunglasses not only relate to the seaside, but also to the dancing couples that might have once enjoyed their thé dansant there. French artist Christian Boltanski's work, The Whispers, is a sound installation sited at 4 benches that features recordings of local Folkestone voices reading out letters to and from servicemen of the First World War.
Dearest, it was so nice to get your little note, so unexpectedly.
It's vitally important that this is not perceived as an exhibition that is parachuted into this town, but is an exhibition that can be embraced by all. So we have several themes here that connect very intricately to the history of Folkestone, to the geography, to the demographics of Folkestone. So that's an immediate point of entry. But on top of that, we've also evolved a very wonderful multi-level education program with many talks and tours, workshops, really using all members of this very diverse community here in Folkestone.
Running alongside the Triennial is a major investment of money by a group called the Creative Foundation.
There are 3 main elements to the project. The first is education, and we've brought a brand new city academy to this town, and we've brought a new university centre and also an adult learning centre. We're also refurbishing a huge number of properties, about 80 properties in what we're calling the Creative Quarter in the Old Town. And we're also starting a whole programme of festivals and arts events, of which the Triennial is the flagship.
The Creative Foundation was launched in 2002 by former Saga holiday boss Roger de Haan. His strategy was to pump millions of pounds of his own money into drawing together arts, education and significant improvements to the local buildings in order to deliver a dramatic increase to the quality of life for local people.
I think it's unusual, the Folkestone project, in the way that it's using high-quality arts in a really embedded, socially relevant way. I think that's one of the most distinctive features of the Triennial as well as the overall regeneration project.
Local artist and gallery owner Lee Mully is a beneficiary of the initiative. She moved from Faversham in Kent to be in the Creative Quarter.
We ended up coming over initially because we knew there'd be perhaps a glut of galleries or artistic activity, and since I was already painting full-time, I thought I'd be able to get to show and promote myself in my home county rather than sending my work abroad or to London all the time.
The purpose-built studios offer a variety of spaces at very low rents. One can either work in an open-plan area or, as in the case of former National Portrait Gallery prize winner Charlotte Harris, have a private studio.
I've really noticed massive changes taking place across the town, especially in the Creative Quarter. I mean, when I first came, a lot of the whole High Street was still in very early stages, and there weren't a lot of shops down there. And now it's brilliant. There are lots of shops, and everything's sort of growing. So it's all happened fairly fast.
Ben Langlands and Nikki Bell are one of 23 artists selected to produce new work for the Triennial. Collaborators since 1978, their film explores, over a period of a year, the links between the twinned coastal towns of Folkestone and Boulogne and the impact that the now defunct ferry service has had on them.
We were interested in a sense, bringing the two towns back together and juxtaposing them and balancing their different characters.
They're 22 miles apart, and you know the water in a sense is the separation, but obviously there's two languages and two cultures, but there's also a lot of things that are very similar and shared.
It's a little portrait of these two places coming together.
It's an artist's impression. It's our way into discovering about places we've never been to before and their people and their activities, and immersing ourselves in it. And the film's a result of that encounter, really. And when we arrived, I mean, we found it very interesting. There was incredible strike activity, which there is now with the fishing industry, and there were burning tyres in the streets, and there was an amazing rapping band called K-Riss who were talking about the fishermen and their plight. So already we were sort of right in the centre of the activity of the heart of what was happening right at that moment there.
Tracy Emin, meanwhile, has cast in bronze 7 items of found baby clothing. These small sculptures will be placed casually between a street and the curb or a railing, appearing as if lost or left behind.
Folkestone, together with Margate, which is of course her hometown, has about the highest level of teenage pregnancies in the UK. So once you know that fact, these little baby clothes become very poignant reminders.
Many of the works in the Triennial will remain in situ, therefore becoming a permanent fixture on the local landscape. Mark Wallinger's piece is a good example. It's a poignant collection of 19,720 stones. Each stone represents a fatality on the first day of the Battle of the Somme and is placed near the Road of Remembrance. Nathan Coley's illuminated text sculpture is located on the main High Street, and Richard Wilson's piece that deals with regeneration can be found facing the seafront.
It's got 18 holes, and it is the remnants of the crazy golf course that used to be on the amusement park on the seashore. It was the last remaining element of this amusement park, and Richard managed to dig up the 18 slabs surrounding each of the holes and remake them into these beach huts, which are in form very similar to the other beach huts here along the seashore.
One question that springs up is just how will the local population take to this new contemporary artistic vision? Someone who is very much concerned with this is artist Catherine Bone. She's collaborated on a project that will investigate the impact of the Triennial on the local community. She's designed and built a mobile information gathering hub. Local passers-by will be encouraged to share their stories and connections to the various artistic works. The results of this sociological study will lead to a cultural map of the area, designed for and by the people of Folkestone.
The idea is that we look like a road, works, vehicle, and we have all those street signs. So we arrive somewhere, take them off, make our own space. And then you literally, it's very low tech on site, you literally take a plug. Each person, we're going to have different tags that explain who they are, where they're from. And then we're going to also plug in all those bits of information they're interested in or they have a link to. And then once all those plugs are plugged in, you cable it up to a computer, press a big red button, and it becomes part of the map of Folkestone. Hopefully it's a nice playful project to think about what is culture, who does it, who's involved, and where does it take place.
If you really want to make a regional place a centre of excellence, like Glastonbury or Hay-on-Wye, then there has to be a regular commitment. So this also, I think, gives great confidence to artists that there is a future. And secondly, another important aspect is that there's a legacy element here. A number of these works will remain permanently in Folkestone, and that is another key aspect that ensures that there is a future guaranteed for this town as far as art and culture is concerned, and for artists to see that there is real seriousness here.
The Folkestone Triennial runs until the 14th of September. To find out more, go to skyarts.co.uk/Folkestone.